Hi, this is Carl Shallahorn from the Debunking Addiction blog on Healthy Place. Usually in this blog I deal a lot with issues revolving around addiction. And of course, addiction is a major problem, but there's also another component that is closely related to addiction that I thought I'd cover this week. And that has to do with codependence. Codependence is a significant problem, and it involves the person who may be involved with someone who's using drugs or alcohol. And there may be certain characteristics that they may exhibit that would define them as being codependent. And I'm going to cover a few of them right now. First of all, there's denial. This individual may be minimizing how they feel. They may be looking at the other person, the person who's using, and put more emphasis on that individual and what they're doing than how they're doing themselves. So denial is a major form of codependence, one of the major characteristics. Another is low self-esteem. Low self-esteem could be involved with difficulty making decisions or trouble receiving recognition or praise. The person also could, they may not perceive themselves as being lovable. So low self-esteem is something that happens with people who are codependent. And in that situation, they tend to, once again, not feel worthy of the love they're receiving and may do things to try to receive more recognition from another individual. Compliance is another thing that happens for people who are codependent. They may be loyal even if the relationship is harmful. For instance, they might be in a situation where the other individual, the addicted person, is verbally abusive or physically abusive, and in those situations they may tend to stay in that relationship despite the harm that's being done. There's also control patterns involving individuals who are codependent, and that might have to do with being needed in order to have a relationship with another person. They might feel a need to control through being in a relationship which is essentially not good for them, but then again, the way that they get any type of good feeling about themselves is by being in these types of relationships. And finally, avoidance is a situation where they may avoid emotional, physical, or sexual intimacy as a means of maintaining distance from the other person and other people. So, each of these characteristics is something that really has a lot to do with how that person's feeling about themselves. It has that more so to do with than the other person actually themselves. So when you look at it, codependence is something that can be very detrimental to an individual, and there are ways for them to get out of that pattern of behavior. There are two primary programs for individuals who are dealing with codependence from an addictive relationship, and that is Al-Anon and Nar-Anon. These programs have been around for decades and have helped thousands of people find a way through the 12 steps to a life that is more liberated and independent. So really, when you think about it, the idea of dealing with codependence has to do with freeing oneself from that relationship and being able to find a way to think independently and feel love for oneself, which is one of the central tenets of recovery from codependence. So I'd like to thank you for watching. This is Carl Shallahorn on the Debunking Addiction blog on healthyplace.com. Thanks again.